This episode of The Mimic's Veil is sponsored by Taste Invader Tea. Treat yourself to 15% off an order of daring and delicious tea at tasteinvader.co.uk using the code TMV. And in The Mimic's Veil tonight, we discuss StarVaders, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo, but first, Triangle Strategy. Games that I want to complete before the advent of the Switch 2, and one of them has been on a backlog for quite a while, and that's Triangle Strategy. I've had it for ages, but I had wanted to buy it for even longer. I think it came out around Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, it's one of those that I'll get round to one day, the Jedi Survivor. Yeah, that was the same thing. I played that.
Sorry, remind me the name of this game again.
Triangle Strategy.
Okay, because you said it differently last time. You put more emphasis on the angle. Triangle Strategy.
Did I?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. That struck me as peculiar.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I won't do that again. So yeah, Triangle Strategy. I wanted to play it for a good long while, and I was like, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to start it now. I'm going to get it done before Switch 2. And by the way, I know I moan about HD 2D or 2D HD, whatever it is, but this is good. I like this. This is lovely. It is quite soft focus, I think, at times. It could be a little bit more crisp. And I was like, is that the power of the OLED? No. It just appears a bit soft focus, but who cares? Not me. And so I wanted to play it. What I was not expecting, even though you said this before, Ben, was how much you do not have to do. You just, I think I'm at 17, 18 hours now, and there's a lot of put the Switch down, gabbing, yapping away,
chatty patties.
They're all having their big old chats. And there's not a lot for you to do. So, I've been playing it handheld because I think you'd be mental to play it on a big screen.
Even more mental to try it on VR.
Then you could lie down.
You could lie down. You can.
Send you right off to sleep. But yeah, I kind of put my feet up, chilling out a wee bit, putting the kickstand back, resting the Switch on my thighs.
And kickstand on thigh.
On thigh, yeah.
Dangerous.
Very wide. I've got very wide thighs.
Just on one thigh. That's impressive. That's like Roberto Carlos.
And I'd say at the start, 100% paying attention to what was going on. As time goes on, that diminishes to the point now where I am kind of going in, and I'm to the main story. I am paying attention to what they're doing, what they're saying, and I do want to go in. So the way it looks, if you don't know, you get the map, and it sort of has here's your main objective. It's in red, but then there's other ones that are in this sort of cute little teal color that gives you sort of extra information. I still click on them, and I watch about 15 seconds, and then I just kind of start cycling through to finish it.
And I remember
they're optional.
You mocked me for doing that with what was that skateboarding game?
I never mock anybody.
Ollie Ollie World.
Yeah, but that's
you weren't paying attention to the story.
Ollie Ollie World, you need the story in that.
I would argue Triangle Strategy is the story's more important than it is in Ollie Ollie World.
No, because you need to know what's going on with the aliens that come in Ollie Ollie World. Yeah, but I'm paying attention to the main story. This is just, the plebs in the surrounding areas.
Oh, so you're only interested in the highborn, those machinations, not interested in that.
Yeah. No, yeah, so, I am.
Those people in the slums.
Exactly.
Yeah, typical Edinburgh.
Fuck those guys. So doing that, and also, making sure if I have the option to recruit more people, sort of listening to their tales, so we can add them to my squad. So there is a lot of exposition in this. I would like, as anyone would, a bit more of the battle.
Yeah,
because that's why you're playing it.
That's really good as well.
It is very, very good. It feels properly fleshed out. How would you describe it? Like a strategy? It is strategy, isn't it? It's like an SRPG. Is that what
Yeah.
Grid-based.
Yeah. Tactics, even turn-based
tactics. Yes. And it's hard. It's tricky. I found myself in like maybe my third or fourth battle. So at the 11-hour mark, and struggling with it. I think it's when you first go back to the castle and there's a bit of a fracas going on, and finding that quite difficult and having to redo it because I died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, I just would want more battling, but it's got a good story to it. It's like a proper RPG story, I would say.
Yeah, sort of Game of Thronesy.
Yeah.
All the different warring factions. Obviously, you've got three countries at war with each other.
That's the one.
Triangle part.
Did you? So there's obviously choices you have to make that apparently impact how you go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Alex? You played this?
Only very briefly on VR, so like the first.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I would like to try it in VR actually, but yeah. Sorry, carry on.
When you had to make the decision of where to go, so at the start, all the regions get together and go, "Oh, we're going to build a mine," and they have this big mining venture, and then the sort of tourney ends. They have a tourney, and they go, "Right, you get the choice of either going to Estfrost or to Hyzant." Do you remember who you picked?
I can't.
Hyzant are like it's the Holy Land.
Yeah.
And Estfrost
Is
are
the frosty.
The frosty ones.
Yeah. I think that one. Probably.
That's who I picked.
Yeah.
That is who I picked. So I was going to ask if you'd experienced any differences, but the answer is no.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Because I would like to. I almost don't want to split. I mean, that's 3 years it's been out now. I don't want to come up with spoilers, but I guess it is quite early in the game, and I kind of want to say that the Frosty people are the baddies, or at least it appears that they're baddies at this point in the game. And I wanted to check to see what would happen if you picked the other ones, because I looked online and it was inconclusive.
Right.
Some may say that I didn't look hard enough, and they would be right. I googled it once and I went, "It's not spoon feeding it to me. I'll check again."
The AI summary, no help at all.
The AI summary doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I can't remember enough about it to be honest to say, but yeah, I do remember there being, what do they call it? Like the weight of your convictions. Isn't that the phrasing they use? Good. Yeah, and I like all that. Like you have to go around asking all of your teammates what they think about what you should do next, and then you kind of try and convince them, don't you?
You can also go out into the town, speak to townspeople, and then that gives you. So there's like 3 options for you to pick, but if you don't explore enough, one's locked off.
Right.
So if you go and you can chat to folk, they might say, "Oh yeah, but this place used to have this back in the olden times," and then that might help you convince someone, and it'll open up like the third option when you're trying to speak to your team to either change their minds or to change their minds, really.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think I in fact I just looked on GG earlier and I gave it 5 out of 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I thought that was a really special one. In fact, I've just sent you my review in our little WhatsApp group of what I wrote on GG. Okay.
So you have. Could you do me a favour and can you do an audio version of it for me?
Well, could you do it in my voice? That would be even more entertaining.
Even now? Just now?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Since I can't remember what I thought of it at the time.
Yeah. In your voice, how do you sound it there?
Come on.
Just say a couple of keywords for me.
It's lovely to have you back, Lewis. I've missed you over the last
couple of weeks. I expected to love the strategic battles, but wasn't prepared for how good the story would be, or how much your own convictions shaped the story. Nice variety of gameplay elements, cleverly woven together. Fucking God, what's happened there?
Cleverly
We
woven.
went a wee bit west.
Polished off with a gorgeous presentation. What a masterpiece.
Wow, that was an audio tour around the UK. I stand by that though. Masterpiece. Underrated. Underappreciated. Definitely.
Yep. You
That was
particularly stand by cleverly woven together.
I do like a cleverly woven game.
And I could decide if we went to the best country, whether we went to Yorkshire, but there certainly was a little to it.
Yeah. I'm not known for my strength in impressions.
I think listeners will find it very hard to tell where I start and you end.
Well, exactly. That's the hope.
If I had closed my eyes there, I wouldn't have known which one of you were talking.
Yeah. Much like how some people can't tell me and Alex apart.
Yeah, that's it.
What was that comment that we got? I can't remember what that was, but it made me laugh.
I don't know.
Something about the non-Scottish fella and blah blah. Blah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, yeah, great game.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. 35 hours, I think. So I think I'm over halfway.
Nice.
Or over halfway, or at the halfway point. At least in terms of hours, if I'm going to hit 35, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's good. I'm glad I'm playing it. I'm kind of almost also glad that it's taken me this length of time to get around to playing it.
Yeah,
Just feels like, it's winding down on the old Switch.
yeah, and with what, a week to go to the Switch release.
Yeah.
You reckon you'll wrap it up in time? I reckon you will.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Alex, so what was your experience with the VR version? What did you think?
It was quite impressive, but I couldn't. I think the big thing for me is I know it's a big game, and I could not imagine spending that much time playing it in VR. Like, VR for me is much more suitable for small experiences. I mean, you're in this, and it's you're saying, Lewis, there's so much talking at you and all that stuff. Like, you forget that you're actually playing it. But it's quite nice because you can play it in mixed reality, though. So it's like the battlefield's in front of you, and then your rooms around
That's
you,
nice.
which is quite cool.
So it isn't that you've just played it like on the Quest, like projecting like a screen. There is actually a VR
there is a VR
version of it. Cool.
Yeah, I'd like to pick that up and finally play something on the Quest. Would be good. Do you pick up the pieces like you were playing chess?
No, I think.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't think so from memory. It was a wee while ago, but I think you just select them with the controller and stuff. I
Right.
don't think you pick them up. But I could be wrong there because it was so long since I tried it, but I don't think you do.
Yeah. Very cool. Cool game.
Can I also say that playing it has made me want to go back to Fire Emblem Three Houses?
Yeah, it's
Not
funny
the
that
ring
I
one.
No,
It's the
not the
one that
ring
used
one.
to polish the rings.
No, it was the
Yes.
one before that.
No, you polish rings in it. Oh no, that's Engage.
Yeah,
Engage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Engage is the ring one.
You can polish other things in Three Houses.
Yes, you can. Yeah, I saw some newly released artwork of Three Houses this week, and it just made me want to play it again. Just like, oh, I
Newly
remember.
released.
Yeah, it was apparently, that, I don't know if it was on that Nintendo Today app or something, but yeah. I'd never seen it
They
before.
do
It was
throw a
just
load of shite out on that. don't they?
any old shite. Oh, this was laying on the floor. Just put it on Nintendo Today.
I have deleted that app.
I have installed it and never opened it.
Oh really? Yeah. Is it on like a widget?
Nah.
I had a widget on my phone. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
I have saw articles of people writing full stories of 30-second videos of anything that the app shows. Like
Yeah, that
they're
doesn't
absolutely
surprise me.
desperate for any sort of Nintendo
Yeah.
use, really.
What does it
Come on.
mean? Yeah. Good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that, Lewis. And let's stay in Tactics Town. And I will tell you about a little game that I've been playing, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown.
Total power.
Total power indeed, Alex. And yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if you remember on The Little Baguette, if you cast your mind back to that episode, we chatted about the Steam Next Fest demo I played with it, and I was talking about it being a little bit bare bones, and thought maybe it was quite early on and that they'd add more. They haven't really. It's it's the same.
It's still quite bare bones.
Yeah, it is really stripped back. I would say it's a very, very basic, turn-based tactics. But the style and the turtlesness of it does kind of elevate it again a bit more. So it's kind of, so you're playing as the individual turtles. There's like 20 levels. You play as Michelangelo for the first couple of levels, and then switch to Raphael and then Donatello and that. And that was one of my gripes before, was you never play as all of them. But what I can see now, I think I see the vision, and I think maybe they've done that so that the sequel, maybe Strange Scaffold is trying to get a sequel as well, and that could be like a team-based tactics thing, which would make sense, because then it's like this sort of bare bones proof of concept that they've done. They could build on that really nicely, I think. Because all the stuff is there. It's just really, it's quite basic. It's very easy. Which, you know,
now you're talking.
Now I'm talking. I genuinely think for you, like Alex, especially that, probably not as into turn-based strategy. I would say this is a really good first one to play, because it's like, there's no, you're not really worrying about any upgrades. There's no sort of, you know, the moves that you start with are the moves that you end with, so you get used to how to use them and stuff. The enemies don't really change. Like, it's just the Foot Clan throughout, and those little mouser things now and again, and you know, there's a few little variations of that, but so it doesn't it doesn't do a great deal, but it's just, I think it's really just cool to see this quite quirky indie developer being given a relatively big license like this, and just clearly having fun with it. Like, they had fun with the writing. A lot of the dialogue between levels is quite funny between the turtles and stuff. And it's just it's quite a cool premise as well. So basically Splinter and Shredder are dead at the start. So I think the turtles have like all split off and living separately. Like, Raphael's living with what?
No. I don't like that idea.
No, I know. But yeah, so that's, I guess that's how they've kind of managed this, like, we're all behaving separately kind of thing. And then Leonardo's gone a bit weird for most of it, because he's like depressed, obviously, about Splinter. And it's got some really good. If you want to just breeze through a tactics game, it took me like 8 hours to finish. It's really just nice. Feels very arcadey. That's probably the cleverest thing it does, is it makes it kind of feel like the old arcade beat 'em ups, but in a turn-based way. Like, it's really snappy.
Cool.
Yeah, and the levels it'll sort of force you along the levels, so you have a little area, and then you'll see that, okay, next turn, this level's going to collapse, so I need to get over to the next one. And you get the little go thing flashing up like you do in like beat 'em ups, belt scrollers, and stuff like that. Even the bit where you kill an enemy sounds like the sound of taking damage in the NES Turtles game, I noticed, which is quite a nice little touch. I don't know if I was imagining it, but I did. I then played the NES version, and I was like, yeah, that does kind of sound the same. So yeah, that's a nice little touch, I think.
Can I do a likening that I know for a fact? Was it Little Baguette we spoke about this before?
Yep.
Yeah.
That it's exactly the same as what's on Little Baguette. And I've also forgotten the name of the game, much like on Little Baguette. So I love how it's like looks like little playing pieces.
Yep.
I think that looks great.
Yep.
It reminds me of a game where you play as Death, and you're like dancing around a stage, trying to like cause someone to like crash their car or something like that. And much like on Little Baguette, I forgot that game's name. And on this one as well, I
I've
cannot
forgotten
remember.
it.
Please,
What
someone
that
let
game
us
is.
know. Put us out of our misery.
You
Yeah, I
play
don't
as
know
like
what
a
that
big.
means.
It's like death, but he's got like a cassette player and he's listening to tunes and he's like dancing around, and you can only move in the shadows. But then there's someone walking, you like nudge a barrel of oil in front of them so they slide, and then you go and do something else, and it just sort of. What's it called? So you never got into this the last 2 episodes. The guys knew exactly what they were talking about. No, I'm back. He's like, fuck.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't have it any other way.
No, exactly. And you definitely did say about the playing pieces thing last time around.
Yeah.
But that is a cool feature. Getting back to what we said about triangle strategy and like how cool it would be to move the pieces. It does feel like that in this game. And yeah, presentation's cool. It's just it is bare bones, but I'm not mad at that. I think it's a good, if you go in expecting it to feel like an arcadey tactics game, which sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what it is. And yeah, they do that same thing that, what was it? Metal Slug Tactics, the way that played last year, kind of made it feel like run and gunnish because it was encouraging you to be aggressive and do things quickly and get in danger, do your attacks and stuff. And yeah, this feels like a very good translation of that classic arcadey turtle stuff, but into a genre which is quickly becoming my favourite genre, I must say. So,
Tactics Town is taking over.
It is. It is.
It's the biggest borough.
Maybe. I think Alex may dispute that. Tell us. Take us back to Survivor's Corner, Alex.
Would you like to go to Survivor's Corner? Because
Yes, let's have a brief break from Tactics
Yeah,
Town.
this one's a good one. So in Survivor's Corner this week, I have been playing what is fast becoming my newest favourite game. But not favourite game for being the best game I've ever played, but favourite game for usefulness. Right, so I've been playing Desktop Survivors 98. And if you don't know what this is, it's basically a Survivors like, but it's all of the things within it are designed around like a Windows 98 PC. So when you load it up, you get like a Windows 98 bar along the bottom, and that's how you use the menus. And like all of the different weapons and stuff, like one of your weapons is the recycle bin, one of your weapons is the word dart, one of your weapons is like the different kinds of pointers and all the different weapons that you use. But the best thing about this game is it overlays on your desktop. So there's no background to it. So it's like all these little doors that you need to get through and clear the rooms to get to the boss. But it's just like it's like a square or a frame around your desktop. So when I was playing this the other night, as I had a committee meeting, I was on a Zoom call and I was playing this over the top of the committee meeting because nobody knows that you're doing it, and it's got like a little almost clippy type thing in the corner that if you click that, it just takes you back into your desktop. If you need to do anything, it's like a magic escape type thing, and then you click it again and you're straight back into your game. It's great, like, and it plays really well. It's definitely, I wouldn't say it's one for the Steam Deck. You can play it on the Steam Deck, and I have played it on the Steam Deck, but it's much more, it's designed around playing this on your desktop because you just don't get the same effect. You can have background and stuff, but I think playing this over the top of doing something, like I could be playing this right now and you wouldn't know I was playing it. I'm not. Here's my hands. But it's just, it's quite, I think it probably needs, there's been quite a few updates since it came out. It only came out last week. And I think it's just one guy making this, and he did go along to PAX East and stuff because I've seen a lot of social media, and he had like CD-ROMs of it to give out at PAX East.
Oh, that's cool.
Things like that, which is really quite cool. But I'd highly recommend checking this out if you like playing a Survivors like on a PC with a mouse, because it definitely works better with a mouse. Like, to get some of your upgrades and stuff, you are like clicking the button on the mouse to like click things in the screen and things like that. So yeah, very, very cool. This is definitely a cool game.
Yeah, I had one quick run at it, and it's just clever, isn't it? It's just clever. You can totally see. You just imagine like Max playing this and just be like, oh, just pretending to do work all day. This is brilliant. But yeah, it's the one thing I guess you just get used to this. I'm not like a mouse guy. Like playing when it comes to playing games. So moving, because obviously in a normal Survivors, like you'll be like controlling your little character, but with the cursor being your character and you're just kind of moving that around, that felt very fast and a bit haphazard to me. To be like just zipping around trying to get away from stuff. So yeah, quite overwhelming to start with. But I guess you just get used to that
because it's much faster with the mouse. So I think when I tried to play it on the Steam Deck at first, it just couldn't move fast enough.
Right.
Like you would really need to use the touchpad on the Steam Deck, and it was just not ideal. And one of the other really cool things is if you leave it too long, that old school Windows screensaver comes on. You know, all the different geometric lines that rolls about, and you're like. And then there's the other one, like one of the weapons is, do you remember, it was like the 3D cube that would be the screensaver on Windows, and it would like morph into different shapes. So that could be one of your weapons as well. Like it's all these different things that are just this proper nostalgic to old Windows, but at the same time it's just really clever and really addictive, like all these games are. Really good job.
Yeah. I just love the menus and stuff. I think that's just really so well done. Right from the moment it first starts, and it's all just like those classic old dialogue boxes and everything. And, yeah.
And everything is like a Windows window, like in terms of like selecting where you want to start and all that. As old school Windows Explorer windows to do it all.
We need to try and keep tabs of this style, because there's so many games now that have got this this like old Windowsy look to them. It's weird what becomes nostalgia bait. I would have never thought that would be one, but here we are.
Yeah, well, like was it like a few years ago? The 80s were the folk were feeling really nostalgic for the 80s with Stranger Things and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now it might be the 90s.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, I could take you back to the 70s if you want with the other game that I've been playing, but
Go on then.
So another game I've been playing is American Arcadia, and I don't know if either of you have heard of this. So this came out on Steam, I think, in 2023. And this is it just hitting consoles. And what it is, it's essentially a puzzle platformer with a lot of stealth in it. But it's, I think the easiest way to explain this is it's a video game version of The Truman Show. So essentially these people, so you are this character, Trevor Hills, who's living in this little town called Arcadia. But it turns out that Arcadia is the setting of this TV show, American Arcadia, that's been going for like 60 years. And all these people have been born and grown up and live in this dome, but they don't realise that they are in a TV show.
Right.
And everything starts to go a little bit strange, and he starts to notice some things. And what started to happen is he wins this grant that he never applied for, but he's seen his colleagues win it before and they just disappear. And essentially this is the company running out of money, and if they then get people that aren't popular enough, they're giving them these grants and saying and this is not spoiling anything at the beginning, but they think this is saying they're just getting killed. And they get this person on the outside who's trying to hack into the system to help him escape from Arcadia, and that's essentially the game. But it's really clever, really well written, a really good story. Hard to talk about it because the story takes a lot of twists, and you don't want to give anything away in the story because the story is like the highlight of it. But it jumps. What I wasn't expecting is it jumps between 2D and 3D puzzle platforming and stealth. When you are Trevor, it's all in 2D, and it's all about you moving and working out how to get from A to B with the help of this person, Angela, who's trying to get you out. So she can be like, she's almost watching the cameras, and she can activate doors. She can do different bits and pieces to help you get through essentially that puzzle room. But then you also spend time as Angela, and in there you're doing more of a 3D puzzle. So you'll need to go and work out maybe how to hack into systems, how to evade security cameras, how to get all the different levels you need to sneak stuff home to do these different bits. So it does quite a mix of 2D platforming and 3D puzzling, and I think it just works really, really nicely. Tells a good story and was much, much better than I expected it to be. I think it's great. I think it's only about £14 or something. I don't think this is an expensive game. And it came out on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And I'd highly recommend this. This is one of the best, not one of the best games, but one of the games I've enjoyed the most this year. And it gave me I couldn't stop playing it. It just I had to go back and finish it and get the platinum and be just it was worth waiting for, because I always quite fancied it in Steam, and I thought I'll wait till it comes to a console because it felt more like a game to play in a console. And it took a while, but I would definitely recommend, for the amount of money this is. If you like a kind of puzzle platformer with a lot of stealth in it, you'll enjoy this. Very, very good.
I have literally never heard of this game.
Same.
But it looks like I should have heard of it.
The 2D side scroller it's given like inside.
It is giving inside, yeah. Definitely.
Felt a wee bit like The Last Case of Benjamin Fox. Maybe a good way to put it. More responsive and controlled a bit better. Yeah. So it kind of gave that vibe, and then it's all first person in the 3D space. So it's just cool. It's very, very cool.
It looks like a cool game.
That is cool. It's won awards as well. It's how weird that's gone completely under our radar.
The team is the team that done Follow the Sea. I don't know if you remember that team. Yeah, so it's the same team. Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue,
they did Call of the Sea. Yeah.
It looks like a Lewis game.
Yeah, I would say so.
Big time.
Well,
weird.
Maybe one to play on your Switch too.
Exactly.
Yeah. How long did it take you to beat it?
Probably about 7 hours to beat it.
Nice.
And then maybe about 9 to platinum it.
Great.
So I had to go back. You get a chapter selection bit, or a scene selection at the end for bits that you've maybe missed. So it's quite generous and being able to go back and clean some things up.
Yeah.
And they probably just want, the way it tells the story is almost like at the start of each, not necessarily each scene, but it always relates back to like the history of the place and how it was set up and the people that set it up. So it's almost telling you a bit about that history relating to the bit that you're playing. It's quite cool in terms of, it's quite geeky and sciencey, some of it.
Yeah.
I quite like.
And I always like that sort of Truman Show premise. I always think that's cool. That's a lot of scope for a good game, good narrative.
I would like someone listening to this to go back. Phil, you might already know this. Fans of the Fast Show, I want you to count how many times throughout however many episodes Ben has referenced the Fast Show.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. This week.
You've done that.
Yeah. That's probably more. Yeah. Again, thank you, Alex, for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
Spreading the love. American Arcadia. Looks wicked. Very positive on Steam as well. And I am wishlisting it, if I can find the wishlist button. No, that seems like a job for another day. Lewis.
So, I know what you're looking at, Ben, but can I mention one other thing first?
Go for it. I just said your name. And
I know.
You started. Okay. Launch.
Exactly.
The launch sequence.
Blue Prince.
Oh, God.
It's been a few weeks now. Packed that in. I got well and truly fed up of the same rooms, thinking I'm doing all right, and then remembering that, oh no, but you need to do this to get in there. That the fucking door isn't open anymore. You go, you got these keys. Pity you can't get through that other side now because you were an arse and it's all locked off. You can't get through. I was like, nah. I got to a point where there's a place outside, and I got to the tomb, and I was like, I kind of was fucking fanning about in there for a wee while, and I went, I can't be bothered, and I went and looked up what the puzzle was, and it was pretty easy. I think I'd more or less done it anyway. Done it, went through the bit. I was like, oh, can I get any further? And I was like, now you've looked it up. There's didn't look up like what the story was, but that one puzzle, I was like, that's you. You've done it once. You're going to keep doing it.
The floodgates are open.
Yep. There is no point in continuing this. So I binned it.
Right, officially.
Officially binned.
Yeah.
Struck the list.
I think I get that, because it is a bit demoralising when you go, oh, I've solved it, and then you hit another brick wall, and then you solve that, and then the same thing happens again. Yeah, I get that.
Can I tell you exactly what went through my head when playing it? I was playing Blueprints and getting frustrated, and I thought to myself, I could be playing FIFA 23.
And that's when you know it's time to stop. Yeah, I get that.
It's all over at that point.
It's over.
You've just reminded me of something else. I've only played this really briefly, but it reminded me of Blueprints a little bit, and that's Into the Restless Ruins, which is like basically every genre that I like in one. So it's like a deck building, roguelike, survivors-like, but then you're also your deck, you're building out the ruins, like Blueprint style. So you'll like pull a card that you have to lay the blueprint of your ruins that you're exploring, which, it's just odd to get two games that do exactly the same thing in the space of a couple of
close together, yeah.
Yeah, I need to play more of it to give more of a full take, but yeah, seems pretty cool. Pretty cool. You played anything else though, Lewis, now that you've given up? Yeah?
So yeah, well, I can't play it anymore either, Blueprints, because my Game Pass and PS Plus have lapsed.
Fuck them.
I have not renewed either.
Good on you. Still got
PS
NSO
Plus,
though.
even without that. Still got, of course.
Of course.
Take my money, Nintendo, please.
Oh, please let me get my pre-order in. I'm special. Yeah.
Do you want that controller? Yeah, I paid for it. You're right. PS Plus since January or something, and then like Monday, Game Pass. I was like,
just let you cancelled it, or you just let it lapse?
I let it lapse. I deliberately, because I was getting Game Pass through my phone, and I went and unchecked the auto renew because it was going to start charging me for it. And I was like, I'm not paying money for it.
Game Pass is pretty shit hot at the moment, though. It's probably the worst possible time to cancel.
Well,
you're a
I'm happy to get it. I'm going to pay Nintendo twice.
Yeah.
For the expansion pack, just to make up for it.
Damn right. I'm going to do a family plan and then just not let anyone else join. That's how much I want to give Nintendo.
That's how much I want to give them money.
I get it. But yes, go on.
I have all, playing the 2D HD 2D triangle strategy. I'm also counterbalancing that with some Grand Theft Auto 5. So just fancy that.
Interesting.
That's a good question.
Was it the GTA 6 trailer that aroused your penis?
No, I don't. Well, perhaps maybe the fact that it's been delayed by like a year.
Yeah,
I was like, I quite fancy playing Grand Theft Auto now. So, and I bought like the PS5 upgrade a few years ago, and I hadn't played it.
Same.
I was like, I wonder if I can just go in with my old save. Spoiler, I couldn't. I think I might have deleted my old save. Right. So I started from scratch, and I was like, right, I want to get to the point where I can use my phone, use the digits, the numbers on the phone, and I Googled, I was like, how far in to the game do I need to get to do that? Because I really just wanted to put loads of cheats on and just go on a big fucking rampage. And it was like, oh, you need to get to the dial-in digits quest. And I was like, fine. And I was looking, it's like really early in the story. But I've done like 10 hours or so.
Wow.
I was like, still, this is early in the story, is within the 10-hour mark. And then I read like a Reddit post, and it was like, if we open your phone, press square, and you get the numbers. I was like, I'm gonna fucking laugh, because you need to put in the numbers to enable the cheats. So as soon as I realised that, I went straight to Fort Zancudo, got a sniper rifle. That's what I do. That's why cheats. I ruined the game for myself years ago. I never ever get to a certain. I never ever finish a GTA, because I'll get to a point and be like, I'm just going to start fanning about and being an arse, and then I get fed up. But I'm in the mood to be fed up, so I was like, I'm going to get to the point where I can do that. Ends up I misread. So yeah, for the last few days. So it's been a few days since DigitGate, since I realised I could just put in digits into my phone. And yeah, I've just been having a whale of a time bamming up the army.
So that's all you've been doing, just sniping?
Oh yeah, I could spend hours just being like sat on one of the hills, or like getting like a stunt plane and swooping in really low into the fort to see if I'm going to get shot at. Or like shot down, that kind of stuff.
Oh, living the American dream.
Yeah, it's, you know, and it'll inevitably happen when GTA 6 comes out. I'll get to a point and I'll start fucking about, and then that'll be it.
That's what they were about. That's what I was like with them. I don't think I've ever finished a GTA game. You do a few story missions, then you start dicking about.
Yeah,
that's it.
For me, it used to be, because you'd need to complete missions to get to like the airport.
Yeah,
and like
to unlock the whole map and stuff.
Yeah. But with 5, you can just go anywhere. So in the older games, I'd get to having the airport, and then I'd be like, right, now is my time to start just not paying any attention to the game.
Yeah,
and just flying about.
How does it
look
that's
what I'm doing
now? GTA 5.
Like a 10-year-old game.
Okay, I did wonder.
Yeah, even that PS5 upgrade, I wouldn't say is done. I mean, I'm not. I can compare it back to the game. Did it come out in the PS3?
Yeah,
must have. Yeah,
like to compare it back to that, I'm sure there's differences, but to my eye, it just looks the same. Doesn't look like there's been any changes to it. This is the PS5 version.
Yeah, I think I played the first hour or two of it once.
Yeah,
like back on the
I don't think I even
Xbox One. I think
got that far.
Just not. I don't know. It didn't grab me. But
I don't like switching between character.
I think that was the bit that put me off. It felt a bit too.
Just give me one person.
Yeah, it felt a bit too story heavy. I don't remember the old like 3 and Vice City being like that, and it felt a bit like I don't need all this. Just put me on the street, let me jack some cars and drive around for a bit. You know,
listen to some great tunes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, GTA 5.
Good. GTA 5. Looking forward to GTA 6. No, me neither. Couldn't give less of a shit.
It looks too over-engineered.
It looks amazing, but that
look for the fucking wank. Like, it just looks. It
doesn't look cool.
No, but I'm intrigued by it as to how big it will be as a media property. But yeah,
I mean, there's no game. I always see gameplay.
Yeah. Show us the gameplay, cowards.
It'll be bigger than it deserves to be. I think that's one thing we can predict.
Yeah, damn right. One thing that is small and deserves more attention that I've been playing this week is StarVaders.
Oh yes, I've heard of this.
I'm going to start off with an apology to Alex because StarVaders is
Alex.
This Alex right here. StarVaders is in our family library, and that means only one of us can play it at a time. And Alex, I'm sorry that I have been absolutely hogging StarVaders for the last week or so. But
yeah, big hog.
It is. That's what they call me. That it is. It is so good. and I just couldn't put it down. But I'm sorry, Alex. I hope you've had
That's
some
okay.
time with it at least.
I have had a little bit of time with it, and I can completely understand why you have been bogging the shit out of it.
Yeah, it is right up my alley. So what it is basically is, as with so many games at the moment that we talk about, it's like a hybrid of a deck builder, and turn-based tactics and Space Invaders, basically. So enemies are coming down from the top of the screen, gradually making their way down to you. If they get to the bottom 3 rows, then they start inflicting doom, which basically is your life meter. And if you accumulate 5 doom, that'll be the end of your run, kind of thing. And you're just going around, building up your deck, and finding synergies and stronger weapons and things like that. And it's just got some really neat little touches that just elevate it beyond like your typical kind of roguelike. It's got a lot of polish. Some of the systems, like this kind of overheating system, which is quite cool. So you can use up all of your like AP. I forget what they call it in the game, but basically,
Heat, I think, is it?
I think it's heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you get the choice once you've used up all your heat. You could then overheat and play one more turn, but the card that you play will be burned and then unusable for the rest of that encounter, kind of thing. So there's a bit of like push and pull in that front, and yeah, it's just it's just very. It's definitely like of all the, because I'm still very much in the post Expedition 33, playing a bit of this, bit of that. It's definitely the strongest game out of everything that I've played so far during that little time. Yeah, it's just one. If I didn't have so many other games to play, this is the one that I would stick to. I've finished several runs already, unlocked a load of new characters, unlocked like the next mech. There's like 3 mechs that you can play as. And yeah, there's just loads of cool upgrades. There's a bit of story that you're sort of gradually picking up. Kind of Hades style, so at the end of a run you'll get a bit more context, and it's just really well made, and yeah, a bit under the radar still, I would say, for how good it is. It deserves to be, I don't know, almost Balatro level praise, I think. Certainly had me hooked as much as Balatro did. But yeah.
Because looking at it, it doesn't look all that.
No, I would say so. It's not, there's not much visual flair to it. And I think the actual playing field itself doesn't look anything to write home about.
Because I know you've said that it's similarities to Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
In some aspects.
Yep.
And I can see a bit of that as well. Like, just, it looks like I can understand like Slay the Spire. I remember played that and I was like, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
And then it got me.
Yeah.
I can see the same with this.
Yeah.
It just looks a bit lackluster.
Yeah.
But that gameplay must be also sweet.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like, yeah, just really tight little levels, like it's kind of Into the Breach-ish, where you're sort of pushing stuff around and trying to unlock powers that will just blow all shit up straight away. And it's, yeah, there's a lot of little intricate bits and bobs that I don't really have time to get into at the moment, but like it is just, yeah, it's a, if you've got a gap in your gaming schedule and you like either a deck builder or a tactics game or both, this is the one, I would say. I'll be very surprised if this isn't in my top 10 come the end of the year.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think you mentioned this here, Ben, but if you did, I apologise. But one of the things that I thought was really cool is you can still take damage from the things that are coming down towards you, but you don't take damage. It burns your card so that you can't use them. So it's, as Ben said, the way to lose is if enough enemies get near you and your doom meter gets too high. Like if it gets above 5, but they can still fire at you, and then you will take you won't take damage. It
I
just
think
reduces the amount of cards that's in your deck to be able
I think
to
you get a
fire it
junk. You
back.
get a junk card, don't
Your
you?
junk card,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you overheat, your cards burn.
Yeah. And then you can like burn the junk cards to get rid of them, and then that becomes like another layer of strategy. And then when you unlock, so I've only unlocked the second mech, it just plays completely differently. You play almost like ninja style, and you're just moving around, and it's all about like mobility and getting all over the grid rather than kind of just hanging at the bottom, Space Invader style. Which just that felt very Slay the Spire-ish as well, where all the characters play so differently in that. This feels like, it's a very similar thing.
It's again funny, like you're getting different takes on this genre quite a bit at the moment, because when we spoke about Drop Duchy last week, it's kind of similar but different, because it's again, you are doing a similar type of thing in terms of going and taking out these enemies after you've kind of strategically placed all your pieces. But then when you unlock the different battalions, it plays completely differently again, because the pieces will build the battlefield in a completely different way and have different benefits. And then it's still based on that kind of almost grid-based playing field.
What a time!
Games.
What a time! I mean, I'll probably talk about Monster Train 2 maybe next week, because that's another one that is, another deck builder that's really good. Anything else from you, Alex, for this week, though?
So there's one game that I mentioned to Ben, and he's like, "Are you just making these up now?" I'm like, "No, I'm not making it up. If you look at this game, you would say this is not an Alex game, right? So this is the description of this game is the world's first Yo-Yo-Vania. It's Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo. But it's essentially a Metroidvania where you're this little rat. You're a bat. Pipistrello, who is the niece or nephew, because I'm not sure if it's a boy or girl. I think it's told me, but I can't remember. Of this, his aunt is a energy tycoon who has developed this. The Pipistrello family have developed this type of energy that's put all other energy suppliers out of business, and they're holding the town to ransom by charging ridiculous fees for this energy, which is based off of some sort of thing that comes from roses. And at the beginning of the game, basically, people around the town have come together to try and get their own back on the aunt, and come in and basically split her soul into 4 pieces into these mega batteries to power their parts of the city. But the yo-yo gets in there, and then part of her soul then goes into the yo-yo as well. And it's like that Metroid. So you've got these 4 batteries that are then split around the city, and you need to go and explore the city, get new powers as you go and battle. Like with your yo-yo, you can use that just to hit things to take them away, or you can fire it away to bring things back to you. And then the way a lot of the levels are laid out, you have almost like little triangles. I think so if you like hit, they're all like on corners, and if you hit the triangles, you'll start going around it like a little maze to go and like fire through and collect things or hit things. And in any Metroidvania, you'll get more powers and stuff from the yo-yo to start upgrading what you can do. So you start off the yo-yo, you can just fly it, and then you can start to like release it off its string so that you can go and hit things further away.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is you can start to go over water, because you can basically ride the yo-yo like it's a dog or something. Like it's like a leash you put on it to
Right.
kind of go with it. And then it kind of upgrades from there. But it's very, very old school. And it was funny when you mentioned like Turtles, Ben, because it feels like when you look at it, a game back from that kind of SNES era, probably more SNES era.
Yeah.
But it's very leans into that, because when the game loads up, it's like this old school handheld console with a cartridge going into it and like all of that. But it's so well made. Like it plays really, really well. It seems well written, and I didn't expect this game to be for me, but I'll try it anyway. and I've completed the first section, I've beat the first boss, and I'm ready to go on to the next one. And you've got this little main town to like basically get around, and you need to work your way into like the base. Well,
Yeah.
like what the first one's like a shopping mall, which is where the first boss is, and then it's
So
different.
basically,
parts
that's
of the
like
town.
the dungeon of that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks quite 2D Zelda like in terms of how it
Aye,
plays.
it probably is an element of that, and I genuinely think this will score quite well. I think people will really like this. I can see this being quite a sleeper hit or an unexpected hit. I know it's like the current face of, if you look in social media, Yoyo Yoshida get this all over his page. This is the game that he's
really?
focusing on at the minute. So when he's honing in on something,
big shoe.
you know it's got good credentials. But good music, good gameplay, good style, which is not a style I normally like, but it just all works. Just quite different because you're using a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's from Pocket Trap, the same developer as Dodgeball Academia, which was quite well received when that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo.
Fun to watch.
Interesting.
Give it a spin.
There's
You can make a Yongle.
a what?
Yongle.
A Yongle? Okay.
Is that what that was called?
No, I'm not. I was just taking the piss out your triangle at the beginning.
So you did that. So what Alex done there was one of the tricks you do a yo-yo was make a
triangle and then
triangle
dangle
and then
it in between.
through. I thought it was called the way you said that there. I thought it was called a yongle.
Sorry. I won't try and take the piss again.
yonk.
It's just good right over here.
Oh, dear. Right. Well, now seems like probably the perfect time to transition away from Yongles. Have a little game of Guess the Outro.
You couldn't be bothered coming up with any. Couldn't be bothered coming up with 10 clues again.
No, the response to last week, Alex, has been overwhelming. So we've decided to stick to Guess the Outro Turbo for this week as well. So, Lewis, just to remind you,
Please.
you get 3 clues. One at the start, one in the middle, one at the end. Other than that, you've got 10 questions to guess the game in this big old head of mine.
Wow.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say the names of
me.
the games, remember, because this is where I got confused last week, whereas I was
Yes.
just shouting the names of games. You're not allowed to guess ones.
You can't just shout the name
Right.
willy-nilly. Let's see how we get on. Here's your first clue. It's a quote from GameSpot. Blank understands intrinsically how magical video games can be and continually pushes your imagination until you're almost bursting with joy.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Sexual.
Imagine a video game doing that to you.
You go for the first question, Les.
Oh, Jesus. Is it an RPG, platformer, or a Metroidvania?
Yes.
That wasn't like a proper yes. That was a you could probably kind of
Yeah, I read that more as he was
categories.
annoyed.
right. Is that a platform exclusive?
No.
Not a platform exclusive. I'm all out of questions, Ben.
Wow. Alex, you should make him do this himself.
Yeah, you should.
Lewis, what were those genres you mentioned? Metroidvania,
RPG, or platformer.
or platformer? Okay.
Gonna change his answer now.
I mean, Alex, it sounds like an indie, doesn't it? To me, it does.
It does sound like an indie to me as well. Should we just confirm it, or is that a waste of a question?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
Don't know
feel
if we
like
should
you
try
should
it.
ask it because that's normally my question. I think
Yeah.
you should ask.
Okay. Is it an indie, Ben?
Yes, it's an indie. Well done.
It's an indie.
Many questions
Question.
that for.
Yeah, you're on question 7 now. I don't know what I'm counting down. But yeah. Question 4, sure.
Do you think we should try and go for time frame? I guess again sounds like it'd be a more recent game within the
Yeah.
last decade. But then maybe not. Maybe longer. It's not a platform exclusive. Do we ask if it's 10 years?
Yeah.
Is this game from the last 10 years, Ben?
Yes, it is from the last 10 years. Question
I'll ask
5?
your question, Lewis.
Hmm?
I'll ask
Yes.
your question.
You asked my question. Yeah.
Character name and title?
No.
Got it.
Okay, your next clue
That's what got it
is...
last week.
And I came up with this clue before you asked the question, so soz. Released in 2018.
Oh, can we get that one back then?
Nope.
Oh, come on! That's...
This is just the, it's how the
Who is
cards...
this? You probably
Guess
think.
Outro Turbo is deeply, deeply flawed.
No. This is a perfect
Just
system.
think, when did the Switch come out? 2018? No,
17.
2017. An early Switch indie. Well, it's not just Switch, obviously, but I'm just kind of thinking that.
Could be... It could be... SteamWorld... A SteamWorld game. SteamWorld Dig. Or SteamWorld Dig 2. Came out... I don't know when it came out.
Not
Maybe
in
around then.
2018.
Maybe the first one.
You could ask.
What? Can't ask if it's that game. Is it not...
No, is that a game in the SteamWorld series? That's like...
yeah, of course. You're professional at this thing.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
No.
A very
Question.
good professional.
Question 7.
I'm lost.
I'm annoyed that we're not getting a clue back.
An extra
considering
clue
we've asked.
for that one from me.
I think that's not. I don't think that's very fair at all.
Boo hoo.
Fun.
Oh dear. Come on. Question 7.
Can we have the clues? Give the one clue at the start again, sorry, and perhaps reel through the ones that we've said.
Okay. GameSpot says, blank understands intrinsically how magical video games can be and continually pushes your imagination until you're almost bursting with joy.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot.
And
Can't
then
think of any games that pushes your imagination.
you can't think of any games that push your imagination.
Nah, I don't really. I was told this is. See, if we go back to standard grade English when I had parents' evening in third year, no, second year,
Yep.
my English teacher told my parents I didn't have any imagination.
Wow. Bit of Alex Law there for everyone.
Yeah,
Oh, my dad said my handwriting was atrocious, and at parents' evening once, and that stuck with me.
Your dad said that.
Yeah. What are you going to do about his? What are you going to do about his handwriting? It's atrocious. Thanks, Dad.
Your handwriting
Look at me now, Dad. I've got a remarkable too. Yes. Anyway, question 7.
so it's either an RPG, a platformer, or a.
Yeah.
Did we work out which one it is? No,
It's
is
a
that
big
not
gamble.
That is. But I mean, we're probably not going to get. I mean, Ben's currently smoking his pen, so I mean, he's clearly thinks he's got this in the bag.
bursting with joy.
Nice to see you floundering for once. I've missed this feeling.
Have any of us played this game?
Yes.
I wasn't finished.
Well,
And like
normally
really
a question mark comes after that statement.
But I was a dramatic pause and really, really enjoyed it.
That's a no.
Right.
All right.
I'm-
do you know what? Because you're moaning about the other clue, I'll say
Yeah.
yes. Some of us have played it. No, I don't think anyone's really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
It's an
dear.
overrated game then.
Yeah. I would just like to
Or
say
maybe
as
just
well.
GameSpot liked it.
Okay, GameSpot.
You would like to say what?
The game from earlier on is Felix the Reaper.
Ah, okay. Right. Question 8.
What was that last one? We've not enjoyed it.
We've played it,
Game
but
of-
not enjoyed it. At least one of us
And
has.
It could be some like Hollow Knight or something.
Well, that's why I was. That's where I was going with that.
The
I was-
character
I
name
had
wasn't
Hollow-
in the title.
That's not. You don't play as Hollow Knight.
As far as anybody can tell them to do.
Inaudible
Alex
shrug
just
there.
shrugged there.
I don't fucking care. Wonderful. Okay, come on. Question 8. Let's do this.
This is why people didn't like Turbo. The floundering.
Yeah.
I need something
Ben
for
enjoys the
myself now and
floundering.
then. Yeah.
That quote, bursting with joy.
I can't. My mind doesn't go back. It's 2018. I can't even think what was out round about then, which is my. Yeah.
What I'll say is, and this is like an extra bonus clue just to help you along because you're struggling. Just think of something that's really good music. That might help.
Really good music.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like? Is it? No, it's not a rhythm game. What am I fucking talking about? No, it's not a rhythm game.
Question 8.
Question number 8. It's got good music. It came out in 2018. It made someone burst with joy.
Shall I give you your last clue now?
Please,
Yeah,
that'd be
you
a great
might as well.
idea. That's a great idea.
I thought so. Right, it won Game for Impact at the Game Awards.
Oh, what the fuck?
Who's...
That's helpful.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
It's one of the many, many categories of the Game Awards that no one gives a fuck about.
But what kind of games win those awards? Think.
I will not say what I'm thinking.
I don't. I think I know what you're thinking.
Games for Impact 2018. Great music. Bursting with joy.
If you are still listening at this stage, patreon.com/themimicsvale.
Yeah.
It does rewards patience. We do a whole podcast that's
right.
basically just this.
Is it a series? Is
No.
it one
No,
in a series?
No, not a series. Question 9.
Oh, could it be more
thinking
another
of?
like? I mean, games that I've not liked that everybody likes. It's got good music
Eternal Strands.
because it's probably me that doesn't like it. You know, it's like
It's me that doesn't like it.
It's you that doesn't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
That's a good clue.
Thank
That's
you.
a clue.
Thank you. Because as we all know, I am probably the most positive out of the three of us.
what games is Ben not like?
Oh, I've had this before.
I hope not.
What's I'm thinking
We're only 45 episodes in.
It'd be like
Aye.
something like
what's that
Plat-
stupid
what's-
fucking platinum game? But that was the one in the police station.
that's not an indie
that.
though. 'Cause I mean, I'm thinking older indies and I'm thinking stuff like Celeste, platformer.
I get Ben like Celeste though, I think.
I thought I thought Ben.
He at least likes the soundtrack.
Well, maybe that's it. He likes soundtrack, not a game.
That's a good question to ask.
I mean, he's obviously likes the soundtrack if he picked the.
I know, but it's like a game.
But you could
Well,
ask
not
something
necessarily.
like, do you collect fruit in the game?
Is that the question?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you collect fruit in the game.
So that's that out then, isn't it?
Yeah, you guys are a bit rusty at this. That's fine. I'm just noting that down. Don't collect fruit. Right, you're on question 10. Celeste,
Right.
I love Celeste, by the way, for the record.
Yeah.
Well, I did think that.
Fucking love it.
I don't know, but
This is
you've got
hard.
other games of like, because I'm thinking of games for impact things like Spiritfarer and stuff. I like Spiritfarer, but I don't think that was 2018. I think that was after it.
I don't know if I
And
had
they have had
the
other
soundtrack
games.
though.
It's quite nice music, not maybe amazing music.
Games for
What other
impact.
kind of things when games for impact?
That is a shocking clue, by the way.
Citizen Sleeper
Dang.
wasn't as. Citizen Sleeper was like 2020.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been that.
Games for impact. Could be thinking of that lying in bed tonight.
You're on the right sort of track, Alex, with Spiritfarer. Like you're thinking along the right lines.
Oh, could it be an Ori?
No, because we all like Ori.
Oh shit. I pick and choose the clues to pay attention to. I don't know.
Clearly. Don't know. Alex, any final ones? Any final questions that might help?
Did you say they didn't have a sequel? There wasn't a series of games,
No sequel.
but
Could
the
be
developer
Yongle.
didn't have any new games.
Is that your question?
Has the developer had any games post this, but not a sequel?
Yes.
What was that? Yoko's Island Express? What was it?
What was the one before Neva?
Gris? Gree? We've had that.
Was that as long as we had Greece?
I mean, if we're going to guess, that's a pretty good guess.
Try it.
I think,
Maybe we might
yeah.
as well try it.
yeah. I'll let you say the name of the game.
Is it Grizz?
Yes. Well done.
I'm quite
Fucking
impressed
hell.
with myself there.
That was painful, but that was a good last question to ask. Very good. Yeah, well done. We got there. It was a painful birth,
Yep.
but we got there in the end. Yeah, great soundtrack. Not a game I particularly enjoyed. I
Yeah,
thought
same.
style over substance
me-
a little bit.
Yep. It took me a while to complete it. One of those games that I played for a little while and then finished it like 2.5 years later.
Yeah. Not all that, but beautiful. Like artistically, amazing. But yeah, that sweet gameplay just wasn't there for me. But yeah, you did well. You got it. The song we're going to listen to is called Chiasm by Berlinist, who did the whole soundtrack. Quick word of the week. Chiasm means an instance of two structures in the body crossing and forming an X.
Chiasm.
Especially the
Chiasm.
optic. Chiasm. Chiasm. When I originally read the word, I was like, Chasm?
Chiasm.
Chiasm? But yeah, chiasm. Chiasm. No, that's not right. Chiasm. Whatever. It's getting late. Let's stop this.
Chiasm.
Chiasm. From the beautiful, but possibly slightly overrated Greece.